Hi, welcome back to the Todd Nauck Show here on my Periscope channel. 2 days in a row. Look at this, 2 days in a row. I think my trip to London has done me well because the jet lag has now inverted my schedule, so I'm actually up fairly early in the morning. And is that my pal Will Robson, Marvel artist Will Robson? How's it going, man? Welcome everyone. Welcome to my broadcast. So looking to draw Doctor Strange today on a Post-it note. Got my blue Post-it right here. And Ollie, for a lot of the English people, the nice thing about doing my broadcast early in the morning is that here on the West Coast, here in California, is that all of my new friends in the UK are able to tune in, and surrounding European countries. So we're hitting at a certain time where more people are up and about. So welcome, and as always, I'll do my best to answer your questions. Can't promise I can answer them all. Can't promise I can see them all because a lot of my focus is going into the art. So, hello from Germany. Welcome, Germany. UK, hello. So I'll do my best to answer. Like I said, I can't promise. So I appreciate y'all understanding. I appreciate all of your support as well. And thanks for all the hearts. I appreciate those as well. So keep them coming if you like what you see. So let's plug into the rig and get right into the drawing. How do I store my Post-it sketches? I really don't have many sketches left to store. So my Post-it note sketches tend to sell pretty quickly after I've drawn them. When I draw them and I post them, usually I get an email or someone asks to purchase it. So if you see a Post-it note sketch that I like, email me straight away. And if you're the first person to get their email in, you get first crack at buying. That's how it works. And that email address, when I post, is mail@wildguard.com. Was it fun drawing Squirrelpool? Yes. Squirrelpool, if you're not familiar with this brand new character in the Marvel Universe, this character debuted in my new Deadpool series, Deadpool 2 Soon. If you're reading it digitally, then you know who Squirrelpool is. If you're waiting to read it in the comic, you'll discover this character in issue 1, actually. So for those that are waiting to read the print comic, I won't say too much, but this character has been shown in the solicitations, or at least the what's it called, the digital comic cover when I post about the new digital comic coming out. But yes, as with any character from a Deadpool comic, Squirrelpool is a crazy character. This is a really weird angle to be drawn at. So if you're watching on YouTube, and if I edited this video and you didn't see all the mishaps, and if you just tuned in and you didn't see all the mishaps, we're trying to get the orientation of the Periscope here correct. For some reason, when I put my camera in the rig, it flips from vertical back to horizontal, so everyone sees things kind of sideways, like in my Wolverine broadcast yesterday, which I didn't realize was a problem until I went back to watch it and saw that it was not, the orientation was off. Don't know why it's done this. It could be the operating system update or the Periscope app update has made things weird. So I'm having to adjust by drawing at a bit of an angle so it works for both vertical and horizontal viewers, whether it be on Periscope or on YouTube. But it has me drawing at a very odd angle. But hopefully this will turn out somewhat decent. I go through the process of selling art. I draw art, then someone wants to buy it, so then they give me money, and then I give them the art. Fairly simple process. I package it up, take it to the post office or FedEx office, depending on the shipping they pay for, and then ship it out. I hope to build an e-commerce section to my website so I can post my original comic art pages on there. I know a lot of people ask about buying those. I don't have a rep. I rep myself when it comes to selling my original art. And so it's a little difficult to get my original art if you don't see me at a convention. So I'm looking to build an e-commerce site to make it much easier, because then I can post a piece whenever I need to, and then if someone wants to buy it, all they have to do is do the clickety-clicks and pay with their PayPal, and then I'll send the art out to them. Big Cartel, yeah, I'm tempted to look into Big Cartel. I know some people use that. I've seen some of my comic book friends using Big Cartel, so I might look into that as well. Might be easier. I need to do a little more Big Cartel research. Oh, you use Big Cartel, Will. Right on. We're going to have to chat more about that. I need to learn about your experience with Big Cartel, how that's gone for you. How's that working out for you? Oh, okay, so you can't put more than 5 items up if you don't want to get charged. Interesting. Yeah, it's going to take more research. Let's put a hand in here. Spell casting hand. Any trips on drawing a dragon's head? Break it down into shapes. It depends on the type of dragon you want to draw. All sorts of dragons, all sorts of ways to draw a dragon. The nice thing about drawing a dragon is that it's pretty much a mythological character, so you can make it up. There's a lot you can make up when you're drawing your dragon. You can create and design your own dragon. So it's just really the best tip that I have is break it down into shapes. Work those, much like I broke this down into shapes. Then you just start crafting those shapes and then tightening those shapes up bit by bit by bit until you get your dragon head the way that you like it. Same goes for the body, wings, tail, etc. And that goes for just about anything we draw. It's just breaking down those initial shapes first. That's why my art starts out very scratchy at first. A lot of sketchy lines. So, go through the steps, go through the process. My iPad just timed out and I lost my reference, costume reference. There we go. Back up. Why no core shadows on Post-its? I think there's a bit of a core shadow. It's that core shadow is that part where the light can't reach the side. So I do put a pretty heavy shadow in there. Maybe you have a different approach to your core shadows, but you know, I shade them as I feel the piece calls for. It depends on the lighting too. So ever attempt to do colors on a monthly comic book series? No, I'm not tempted to do that. At least not yet. Not yet. At least to color digitally. That is a very time-consuming process for me at this stage. There's a lot I still need to learn so that I can color in a timely fashion. Right now, it takes me too long to color a page, so I'd rather focus on the line art and let the awesome colorists I work with work their magic, and so I can move on to the next issue. All right, let's see here. Let's drop some inks in. How am I with spray paint? I don't use a lot of spray paint, so I'd probably say average. As if like I were spray painting a fence, you know, a piece of wood or something. I definitely don't do art with spray paint. Have not sought to do that. How's the jet lag treating me? It's you know, it's a little rough. It's been difficult to watch the primetime Olympics here in the States because my wife and I want to watch, you know, Michael Phelps swim, or you know, the different events, and we are doing our best to stay awake. Usually one of us has to stay awake so that we can wake the other one to watch the event. But one plus side is that it has me up early in the morning so that I'm able to broadcast before getting to work. So there are pluses and minuses. And when it comes to jet lag, if you can find any plus in the jet lag condition, then that's pretty nice. Ever gonna do more WildGuard stuff? I hope to. Thanks for reading WildGuard. Let's see, I'm gonna try out my Pigma brush pen here for the hair texture. I want to get that Cumberbatch flip here. Gotta turn the paper here to get a good angle. For the direction I need to ink in. Brush pen is nice for cutting these shapes, especially when you have a character with dark hair. You can get a chunk of black there, but still keep some wisps of the paper open for color. Thanks for all the hearts, gang. Appreciate the support. Use some of this for the eyebrows. So I was using the 0-1 for the hand here. Now I'm going to use the 0-8 here for the contours of his face. So why do I like Kitty Pryde so much? Because she's awesome. She's smart. She's funny. She's tough. She's a leader. And she's a character I've been reading for pretty much my entire comic book reading, collecting life. So, a character I grew up with. So, I just think she's awesome. And she reminds me a lot of my wife, who has many of the similar features. And no, my wife is not in the next room. Favorite Doctor Strange comic? Well, the Chris Pacello run is pretty awesome. That's currently going on. Strange Tales, back from the 80s, with the Kevin Nolan covers. Those are pretty cool. I just missed that question about Copic illustration. Sorry about that. Would I ever take an apprentice? I don't know. Never thought about it. Will Robson, you'd be my Padawan? Dude, you're already a Jedi, man. You're already a Jedi. You are a comic drawing Jedi. You're too old to begin the training. You're already there, man. And congrats on that. Welcome to the club. Squirrelpool gave you nightmares? Then we did our job well. We did our job correctly. Which character reminds me of myself? I would say a character I most relate to would be Nightcrawler. We share several similar attributes, characteristics I should say. We are both German. We both have kind of long, slender faces and slender noses. We have awesome hair. We both have awesome hair. We're both men of faith. Let's see. We both like Kitty Pryde as a friend, and we're both blue and furry. So, yeah, I think that's the character I'd probably most identify with. I'm seeing a doctor about the whole blue and furry condition. Yes, I do teleport all around the world. I wish I could teleport. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't be dealing with this jet lag if I could teleport to London and back. Heck, I'd go to Cardiff every day for the Doctor Who experience. Every day.
get the annual pass. Have I ever done digital painting? Not really, but I look forward to experimenting more with digital in the near future. Right now my work schedule is so hectic, along with convention travel this summer. I have not been able to really invest time in finding out which tablet device I would want. I want something I can travel with, so I'm not looking to get the huge Cintiq setup. I know there is the Cintiq companion from what I understand, so I'm willing to look into that. But yeah, I'm looking into the Surface Pro 4 and the iPad Pro to see which one. Right now I'm kind of leaning towards the Surface Pro 4 just because it can run more of the programs that I would want to use, like was that manga, what's it called? Yeah, can't remember it. My brain's focusing too much here on Strange. Oh, I'm sorry, Rob, I missed it. Cintiq is better than Manga Studio. That's it. Cintiq is better. Can I just get the Cintiq companion and be okay without the full Cintiq rig? Because portability right now is a key factor for me. Well, we're gonna have to chat more privately about the digital options, so I can see all of your advice and experience. Since I'm only getting part of the conversation right now, unfortunately. So I'm back to using the 01 here for the facial features. Is there ever a moment in my head that tells me to draw a certain character? Not really, no. I don't think there's a moment. I mean, I'll think about a character I want to draw. Or sometimes I'm get inspired, so maybe that's the moment in my head. So, let's see, I'm going to switch to the 005 for finer detail on the eyes here. So again, if I'm missing your questions, putting a lot of focus here on the eyes. Okay, let's do some erasing here. Gotta turn it this way so I can pull down in the direction of the paper so as not to crinkle it. Don't want to crinkle it. Anyway, so that's the line art we got going on. Thank you for the kind words, gang. Any tips on how I lay out a page and plan for word balloons? That's a big topic right there. I don't know if that's something I could discuss here while working on Strange. But essentially, yeah, you just want to keep in mind how much text what's going to be needed and leaving appropriate space. But knowing that some you can't just leave a bunch of open space for the text. You still have to work in backgrounds, but what can you afford to have covered up by word balloons, and what do you definitely not want covered up by word balloons? I guess would be the long and short of it. A lot of that comes with just one, studying comic books and looking at where other pros have done their layouts to accommodate for word balloons, and then trial and error on your own. You kind of learn as you go. At least that's what I did. I learned as I went, because there was no comic book college, or at least that I had access to back when I was growing up. The Kubert School was around. I just was not able to move out to New Jersey to attend. So I pursued other courses of study and applied what I learned to comics. What's my favorite Post-it note that I've done so far? I would probably say BB-8 was one of my favorites, which is on my YouTube channel. That one was a lot of fun. That was my first time to draw BB-8. A Thor one I did, where it's raining. That one was a lot of fun. I think the same person bought both those Post-its, now that I think about it. Let's see. My Michael Fassbender Magneto one, I really liked how that one came out. So those are a few off the top of my head. So same as with Wolverine, E00, then the E000. Now I'm coming in with some I thought that was the E01. I was just going back over it with E00. E01 now for some darker spots. And some E11 for even darker spots. Sorry, I'm missing some questions there, gang. I was really focused on the skin tone here. What's my trick to drawing fingers? I don't really have a trick. I mean, you just want to consider each section of each digit of the finger, and just let the hands be a character unto themselves. The hands can drop in a little R20 and R00 here to rosy up the nose, put a little color in his lips. Not too much though, don't want it to look like he's wearing lipstick. But there is a little color to his lips, a little different than his skin tone. A little bit in the cheeks, a little bit in the chin, a little bit in the hands and the fingers here of the R00. Kind of blends some of the E's together. Alright. let's get some hair going here. So looking at my photo reference, it's kind of a little bit of it's black, but a slight hint of brown. But since I want to keep this sort of comic book looking, I'm going to kind of go for more of the Superman classic Doctor Strange look, so utilizing some blues with some grays. So I'm using some B45 here. Carry this down into the facial hair as well. Appreciate everyone hanging out here with me. Hope you're having fun. Let's see, get some gray in here. So I'm going to use some cool gray. Thanks for the hearts, gang. So utilizing a little gray in here amidst the blue to give it the illusion of black or dark hair. Carry that gray into the mustache beard area as well. That was a little C5 I was using there. Put some blue in the eyes here, some B14. Use the same color on his shirt. Using a little B01 here in the eyes, just to give them a little vibrancy. I missed the full question there, but I think it was like, when I use Copics, do I start with dark tones and move to light tones? So it depends. Usually I start in the middle, and then I add dark, and then I go over with light, which then the lightest color kind of blends the mid-range with the dark tone. That's kind of been my approach. Let's see, let's get some red going on in here for his cape. His cape and collar. So starting with some R27. Coming in with some R24. I'm going to use some R56. For some darker spots. I'm going to use some R85, which is a little more pinkish, just to kind of blend in some of the mid to lighter spots. Alright, let's see, I'm going to use that B45 again for some darker spots to his shirt. Thank you for the kind words, gang. Thanks that you like what you see. Alright, so now let's take some warm grays here. Kind of drop some heavier shadows in here, kind of create a little more mood. Put a little shadow underneath the flip of the hair here. Starts to create a little depth. Heavy shadows under the eyes. Inside the ears, under the nose especially, under the bottom lip, under the chin. through the hand here. Yes, this is a warm gray 3. Thank you, Will. Favorite villain? Depends on which book it is, but I'd say overall, I'd probably say my favorite villain is Mr. Sinister. So let's bring some cool gray into these shadows. As I mentioned in the Wolverine Post-it, sometimes like to use the cool or neutral grays in creating my shadows. You know, I'll use some darker grays in here. Let's use a warm 6 here on the cape, because we have such dark reds in there already. Just pulling with the folds of the cape there. Did I pick up All-Star Batman today? No, I will not be able to go to the comic shop today because of work deadlines. I hope to be able to go to the comic shop next week if I'm lucky. Usually at this point this summer I've only been able to go in once a month. So I go in once a month, pick up my stash, and then try to catch up on reading. I'm still 2 months behind almost on most of my reading, unfortunately. So this is the cool 4 here that I'm using. Just kind of just dropping in some shadows in the places I've already hit, just kind of building that up more and more. Oh, you'd like to see a full body sketch of Black Widow from me? I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see, let's use the cool gray 5 here to again just beef up some of those shadows in the cape there. Same in the shirt. All right. Let's see. I'm going to use some cool 2 here. No, not cool 2, cool 3. How can you go about getting me to do a variant on Great Lake Avengers? Talk to your editor, man. That'd be awesome, Will. I'd love to do a variant on your series. I love the Great Lakes Avengers. I remember when they first debuted in West Coast Avengers, back when I was a lad in the 1980s. All right, so let's see. Oh, let's work in some sort of background fade. Let's go cool grays this time. Not too. Don't want to go too far. So I'm going to use the cool. Start with a cool 4. Head to the cool 3. Some cool 2. Don't want to eat up all the blue of the paper, so it's just going to be like a half fade. Cool 1. And then finish with some cool 0. All right, now let's see. Next up is my colored pencil trick here. So I'm going to do the whites of his eyes in colored pencil using a Prismacolor watercolor pencil here. Didn't want to use the white gel pen there because I don't want his eyes to be so vibrant. But I do want the little highlight in his eye to be more vibrant. So it gives us 2 shades of white here. So now I drop in so that highlight really pops. It's like blood ow. Let's put another little highlight right there towards the black. eye or pupil. So I want to utilize a little more watercolor pencil. There we go. Need to find my sharpener though. I lost it in the move. Just kind of pump up that highlight in his hair. Add a little bit for the gray in the temples. Though in the Marvel Universe, Doctor Strange doesn't really have gray in his temples anymore. He's using Just for Men now, apparently. But I always like a gray-templed Doctor Strange, which was my favorite grunge band back in the 90s. Gray-templed Strange. They were good. Members of Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and Gray-templed Strange. Hard to say, even harder to fit on the marquee, but, you know, that's rock and roll. I have no idea what rock and roll is. What am I talking about? So, there we go. And let's put a little bit of that highlight on his nose here. Don't want it too heavy, so that's why I want to use the watercolor pencil. Alright, now it is time for my finishing move. The gel pen, white gel pen, using the Uniball Signo. What I like to do is, since the hand is in the foreground, is to carry the white outline all the way around the hand so the hand pops off the face a little more. Not having good experience with any of the white gel pens. I'm sorry to hear that. Have you tried the Uniball Signo? It's my favorite. The Jelly Roll is good too for the teeny tiny details. Light touches the key, I agree, Will. Don't want to get heavy-handed with your gel pens. Thank you for the kind words again, and thanks for all the hearts, gang. Please do a tutorial on the space background you made for Kitty Pryde as Star-Lord. I will have to do a tutorial on space backgrounds. I've had several people inquire about that, so someday I will show you how I did that. Let's see. What I want to do here is I want to cast a spell here. Let's put some of those some sort of spell effect here. So I'm going to utilize my circle template here. If I messed up right now, what would I do? I'd be disappointed, but I would then just move on. Go ahead and just start my day of work and just chalk it up to a human error. So let's see. So let's create let's kind of put a circle here. Kind of comes close to his eye. Getting a little designy here, gang. Totally off the cuff. I'm at the risk of totally jacking this up right now. So see there, we're starting to cast a spell. So I'm considering the shape of the circle. Where is it going? I'm being careful for the eye, but let's utilize that eye in the spell here. So we create another circle that encircles the eye from the fingertip. I'm totally making this up as I go. This is totally like impromptu effects here. Boom, look at that. We're getting designing now, people. This is improv art going on right now. So let's see. Put like a little reflective circle, little lens flare type thing. Maybe off here to the side. Maybe a couple of these that get smaller. Just one right here. And let's put a little smaller one right up over here. Just kind of utilizes some of the space up here. So now it's starting to look like he's cast some sort of spell. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you appreciate my commentary. So let's see. Now I want to let's use the French curve here for some, maybe the spell kicks off of each finger here a bit. So it kind of cuts up through the hair. Then in between each finger as well. Totally making this up as I'm going along here, gang. Just so that all the effect isn't going on over here, we'll continue this kind of starburst. Kind of cuts from the eye just a little bit. Want to be careful not to draw too much attention to the eye or away from the eye. So it's just a little bit that utilizes some of the space over here. Put a line that's a little tighter to this line to create some variation. Of space in between the lines. You want to consider that. You don't want it all completely uniform. So we have some that are close, wide, even wider, less wide, so it creates more for the eye to play with. If it's all uniform, boring. You stagger your spaces, excitement. And I don't like that there's a little too much negative space here. I want to be very careful with my choice. Let's put in one little reflective circle. Or do I? Let's think about that. I'm going to sign right there, so I want to leave that spot open. You know what? I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to put a circle there. That would be a bad idea. Let's put in one more little reflected little line. A little extra starburst there, just to break up that space a little bit. And you know what? That's why I need to be done. A lot of people ask, how do you know when to be done? Sometimes it takes a lot of thought, got to be careful, and then just stop. Sometimes it's like, think about it. Why am I choosing to do this? Am I doing it because I think I need to do it, or am I doing it because it needs to be done? So I had to take a moment here. You just witnessed me thinking through the process. I could have added a line there, and it might have been all right. I could have added more lines here like I thought I wanted to. It could have been all right. But I think stopping here is what's going to keep the piece strong, because we don't want all these effects, the spell, to take away from Doctor Strange. I think I've given just enough for excitement, but we still see Doctor Strange in all his glory there. So, time to add the signature, and this piece and this broadcast will be just about done. Well, the artwork will definitely be done. I'll see if I can answer one or two more of your questions before I go. And today is the 10th, right? Because yesterday was the 9th, if I remember correctly. Still having trouble telling time, or what time zone I'm in, what day I'm... Is today Wednesday? Today can't be Wednesday. I think it is. The 10th, oh my gosh. I really have a hard time keeping track of time and days when the work and stuff is so... work and travel has got me running ragged. Well, not too ragged. I'm doing well, but... Boom. There we go. Doctor Strange. Ba-ba-da-ba. All right. So, let me flip around and we will see if I can answer a question or two, and then I'll call it a broadcast here. Hey, the gang. There we go. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining me here. So much fun to get to draw Doctor Strange with y'all. Were there any questions? I know I missed a lot of questions as I was focusing on the art, so I really appreciate that. So I'll try to juggle one or two more questions. Would I ever draw a Naruto piece? It's possible. It's possible. When is the next broadcast? I don't know. I've done two in a row here, so who knows when. Maybe tomorrow morning. I don't know. Stay tuned. Set a Twitter alert. When is my next sketchbook? Hopefully in time for New York Comic Con. Was supposed to be ready for San Diego 2-3 weeks ago, but my work deadlines were so tight I did not have time to get it printed up. So hopefully by this fall. And it'll be for purchase on toddnauck.com. How quickly does my con commission request list fill up? Depends on the con. I've had it fill up within minutes. I've had it take 20 minutes, 30 minutes for it to fill up. It all depends on how busy the convention is and how many people are attending the con and how many of those people want something from me. So right now I'm only doing a handful of commissions each day at a con, so it can't fill up fast. All right, so I know I missed a lot of those questions that just flew up there, so if you want to throw, if I didn't get a chance to answer your question, feel free to post it there. I couldn't read it while I was answering the convention commission question. Convention commission question? How's my studio setup coming along? Pretty good, pretty good. There are a few still things I need to put away, kind of get squared away, but at least I'm able to get my work done. Is it okay to do same videos like me for Post-its? You can do your Post-it videos, of course, of course. I'm not the first person to draw on a Post-it. I just do a lot of illustrations on Post-its, so it's kind of become something I'm known for. But Post-its have been around for a long, long time. I don't even know how long they've been around. Probably my entire life, more than likely. Probably at least since the 70s, I think. So I'm sure there's no way in the past 40 years I could be the first person to draw on a Post-it. But yeah, feel free, go for it, have fun. Like the one where Gladiator gets his... I missed the beginning part of your question. I'm so sorry. Post-it owns the copyright on Canary Yellow. Is that true? Is that possible? I will be at Long Beach Comic Con. Sorry you can't make it there. Hopefully you can. Hello, Venezuela. Any more questions? I'll give you all a moment to type them out. And... do I still have folks in Germany? I'm bound to have family, relatives, distant relatives that live in Germany, since Nauck is how we say it in the States. Nauck is the German pronunciation. I've come to find out, they're still in Germany, but I have not met any of my German ancestors, or and not ancestors, they'd be dead because that's why they're ancestors, but distant relatives. Do I watch Psych? Yeah, I do. I have the entire series on DVD. Love it. One of my favorite shows. Huge fan of the show Psych. Hopefully you've seen my Sean Spencer cosplays that I've posted online when I'm at conventions. I would love to come to a Hawaii con. I hope they'll invite me. How do I decide on the backgrounds on these posters? I just most of the time do color fades. So, yeah, pretty easy. Ever draw Night Nurse? Not yet, but maybe someday. Where did my red nose influence come from in my drawings? I'm not sure. I can't remember where I first saw it, but I remember seeing that in a painting or an illustration. I thought it was cool, so I liked the depth that it gave and the life that it gave to the character, so I started incorporating that as well. I wish I could remember where I first saw that. Yeah, Norman Rockwell yeah, it could be very well Norman Rockwell. I love his paintings, so it could very well be. Yes, I do need to watch Stranger Things. It's on our queue. We've just been really busy, and now that we got the Olympics for the next 2 weeks, that's eaten up a lot of our TV time. So, but I will watch Stranger Things. I just have to continue to avoid spoilers. You're booking the day that I do a full-body Black Widow sketch. Well, hopefully you've had a chance to see my sketchbook read. I've got a pencil and I think inked commission of both stages of a Black Widow full-figure piece in this one right here. So I have done one, I think actually two. So you can see this in sketchbook red, available for sale on toddnauck.com. Don't have many of these left. So be sure to grab your copy. What type of printer do I have? It's the Epson Artisan printer.
I actually looked down there. It's like, is that it's Epson Artisan. Have a good day at work. Thank you. I hope I do have a good work day. I appreciate it. I hope y'all do too. Thanks so much for tuning in, gang, and thanks for all the questions. Thanks for all the support, and thanks for hanging out with me. You can see this. Oops, let's turn it right side up instead of sideways. You can see that on all my social networks. I'll post it here in the next 5 minutes or so. So join me on Twitter, Instagram, at Todd Nauck there, Tumblr, Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, come and like the Art of Todd Nauck page. I've got a whole album, an entire album of every single Post-it note sketch I've done in that one called Post-it Notes. So be sure to check that out if you want to see all my past Post-it note sketches. There's well over 200 in there. So thanks so much, gang. So much fun. I'm so glad I've got to broadcast 2 days in a row. Can I make it 3? We'll see if jet lag will allow that. Thanks so much, gang, and I'll see y'all soon.